Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What's Good.
Today we'll be looking at one of my personal favorite shows, Insecure.
Insecure is an HBO series created by Issa Rae and Larry Wilmore, which stars Issa as herself and Yvonne Orji as her best friend Molly. They are two young black women living their everyday lives amidst a series of complicated yet relatable but often uncomfortable experiences.
It's my birthday, but no one cares because I'm not having a party because I'm feeling sorry for myself.
The show follows Molly and Issa's friendship as they navigate their personal flaws, relationship troubles, and their general difficulties of young adulthood.
What's different about Insecure is that it's an adaptation of the mini web series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae.
Yeah, I definitely remember watching that on YouTube when it came out. What I find so interesting is that even though the show had a much lower production value, they still focused a lot on storylines.
Exactly.
He gets coffee around 8:50, comes out around 8:57, and walks to work. And every day I play out a new way to make him fall in love with me.
HBO must have seen the same potential because after seeing how amazing and creative Issa's work was, they wanted her to expand her ideas, which turned into Insecure.
And looking back at the web series, it is clear that Issa had great ideas. She just needed a little bit more help recreating her visions into something more aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Issa Rae managed to raise the money for her miniseries by actually starting a Kickstarter campaign. After it joined HBO, the production values increased drastically.
Absolutely. By HBO picking up on her idea, they increased the money used for the production value, which was significantly larger than what she had eventually started with for the web series.
Speaking of aesthetics though, throughout the series you can see just how much the show has grown, especially in the production values.
Yes. By the way, I watched Insecure once the entire season was out, so I was seeing a huge difference in just a matter of hours. And I'll be honest, during the pilot, that lighting was not doing Molly and Issa all that great. But as the season went on, I was like, yes, look at that melanin pop, because that lighting just got so much better.
Definitely.
The way I approach dark skin tone technically is all about the skin is reflective. 1, make sure the makeup artist uses a reflective base on the skin.
Unlike a lot of shows and movies out there, I noticed that the way that they light darker and brown skin is done so well.
2, give skin something to reflect. It's not the amount or intensity of the light source, it's the surface area of the light.
I mean, sometimes you watch a show and it looks like it was a shot in somebody's basement, you know? Anyone who's trying to take a picture in the club or somewhere dark knows that the cameras sometimes aren't made for us. But Insecure manages to light their actors so well.
3 is I use a polarizer, which is a filter that goes in front of the lens. This actually works really well when you're lighting with, a reflected surface on skin tone because it can shape the light in a really pretty amazing, effective way.
Okay. So we can't talk about Insecure without talking about the soundtrack.
Oh my God, it's the best music. Insecure introduced me to so many new talented artists. I found like after a while I had to just keep Shazam in my phone just to know like who this artist was and like when their album is coming out. Like,
And right, they actually feature music from well-known artists like Solange, Bryson Tiller, but also low-key artists like Georgia Smith, who I never had heard of before the show.
So Keir Lehman is actually the man who's behind the music for Insecure, and he manages to set the tone not only for this specific scene, but for the series as well.
Yeah, something interesting that Lehman does is he uses social media to help connect with the audience. For example, after music goes out from one of the shows, some people give him constructive criticism, which he finds absolutely healthy because no one is perfect.
Although Lehman plays a huge role in the soundtrack, Raphael Sadiq is actually the composer for a lot of the scores that you see on Insecure.
And Raphael Sadiq affects the mood of the scenes, and he tells the audience how to feel, whether you should be feeling sad or happy or excited or whatever.
Yeah.
Scene. Your music has to bang. It has to be melodic. I know some of the artists that you like, that you listen to.
Yes.
So all these things are like just kind of play around in my head, and then when I start playing keys or playing drums, I say, this is what she's about.
One of the best things about Insecure is that the music connects with me so well that no lie, it can work as like a soundtrack to my life.
Absolutely. And it's not only in the music. I feel like Insecure does such a great job of creating moments that connect with me as in general.
I agree. In addition, Insecure does a great job of empowering women of color like Molly, who is a big-time lawyer, which is extremely relevant in today's society because honestly, little girls need someone to look up to. And seeing women of color up there shows them that anything is possible.
Yeah, representation is so important. And I love that Insecure represents real life role models for the regular Black people who aren't in a constant state of suffering or portrayed as being the super fixer, carrying the weight of the world. I mean, I love Scandal's Olivia Pope, but she just isn't someone that I see reflected in myself or the women in my life.
Right, I understand that. I love being able to see myself in characters, but also feel really inspired by the showrunners and the crews. It's so cool that the actors, writers, and other members of the creative team are mostly people of color. We hear so much about the doors being closed to people like us in Hollywood, but here's a great show that's doing so well and has already won multiple awards.
It's like when there isn't much opportunity for you, sometimes you have to create your own. I think that speaks volumes, especially to me, because I consider myself a creative. And seeing that Issa is doing so well when she started off with just a small YouTube channel is so inspiring.
Right, and another way that Insecure impacts us is that although the show isn't necessarily meant to educate, it still does. For example, the scenes where Issa deals with microaggressions at work are very important scenes. People who aren't normally in these situations get to see what it's like from the other point of view. And hopefully seeing this educates them.
Let's just ask Issa. Issa, what's on fleek?
I don't know what that means. I know what that shit means. But being aggressively passive is what I do best.
It's great that you brought up microaggressions though, because this just shows how relatable Insecure is, because I'm constantly saying to myself, oh my God, this just happened to me at work. And seeing how Issa deals with these situations shows me that I'm not alone, you know? In the moments where she deals with them, it's so evident that the scene was written by someone who's actually had that experience.
I get that. So those scenes are great because, for example, in a show written about Black people by white people, they make things seem super serious and almost like a PSA. And Insecure is able to work around that gray area where these things that happen are frustrating, but they can also make it funny, you know?
Yeah.
It's not quite adjusting to the culture. They ain't ready. It would be great for you to have a chat with her.
Like you Sam Jackson and Django.
Right? I'm Django.
So based on all the ways that we connect to the show and the amazing technical aspects of it, do you think that this is a show that will be remembered down the line?
As much as I love Insecure, I don't think it'll be remembered. I feel like it's good content for the time being, and maybe if you watch it, well, maybe if you like it now, you'll watch it. But as for it being a classic, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
I totally disagree. I can definitely see myself pulling this up in 10 years. I feel like this is kind of like a fresh take on like Sex and the City or something, which plays all the time on E. It's like 24-hour Sex and the City. I feel like you can relate to whatever time you're in, you know? Insecure will still be funny, relatable, and honest.
I get that. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this was What's Good.
Hurry your slow-looking ass up. It's my sexy walk.